Jayson Tatum has been having a rough series against the New York Knicks, but from game 1 to game 2, he went from good to bad to straight up weird. In game 1, Jayson Tatum came out on absolute fire. He was cooking bigs and switches and getting whatever he wanted all over the floor. But from that point on, things went downhill. The Knicks did a great job hedging in the second half of the game, and it made him a little bit uncomfortable. And even when he did get good looks, they just weren't falling for him. But like I said, from the end of game 1 going into game 2, things went from bad to weird for Tatum. On one of the very first plays of the game, Tatum passed up a wide open three. He got the ball at the top of the key, but instead of shooting it, he kicked it to Drew Holiday, who was already cutting in because he thought Tatum was going to shoot the ball. And as the game went on, Tatum passed up more of these shots. Sometimes it worked out, and the Celtics actually got a good look off of Tatum driving, but still, it was weird to see him pass up some of the shots he usually likes to get to. All season long against the Knicks, Tatum thrived on pull-up threes above the break. But when he got a chance to take one over Mikal Bridges, who was out of the play, he passed it up and took a contested layup in the paint. He should have made the shot, but it was still weird to see him pass up the first look. On top of that, the defenses the Celtics have seen in the playoffs this year have limited the amount of touches Tatum has been able to get, especially in the half court. In the 23-24 playoffs, Tatum's front court touches were at 46.9 a game. That was up from the 38.7 he was getting throughout the regular season. But this year in the regular season, he averaged 45 touches a game, and that's down in the playoffs. He's only getting 36.5 front court touches a game. And even from game 1 to game 2, Tatum's touches in the front court went from 36 to 32. The Knicks are doing a great job of pressuring him and forcing the Celtics to look elsewhere for their offense. Poor spacing has been a part of the reason Tatum hasn't been able to get into the paint as much. Even when Tatum gets touches inside the three-point line, the Knicks are loading up to take away his drives. Even on this play, by the time Tatum turns around to drive past Miles McBride, Josh Hart is already in between him and the basket. And on top of that, OG Anunoby and Mitchell Robinson both have feet in the paint too. By the time it's time for Tatum to take a layup or dump it to Kristaps Porzingis, who's under the basket, there are literally 4 Knicks surrounding him. And KP didn't time his cut well enough. The Knicks have been switching a lot this series, but even when they do run a little bit of drop, they still send 2 bodies at Tatum. Using Tatum as a screener was also a nice counter from the Celtics for all the pressure the Knicks were putting on him as the ball handler. On this play, they put the ball in D. White's hands, and Tatum goes to set a screen for him. And since Mikal Bridges is staying glued to Tatum, he effectively sets a double screen on his own guy by accident. Derek White drives downhill past Campaign, and he dumps it off to Luke Cornett for an easy bucket in the paint. All the while, Tatum's gravity has dragged Bridges completely out of the play. Here again, with Anunoby on Tatum, he sets a screen for Derek White at the top of the key. But Tatum doesn't even actually have to set the screen in this case. Jayson Tatum flips it at the last second, Derek White pretends to take it, and then rejects the screen and goes the other way. But since Brunson is already anticipating trying to get through the screen, he's left off balance, and Derek White has space to attack downhill again. And yet again, when Karl-Anthony Towns is there to help over from the dunker spot, Luke Cornett gets an open dunk at the rim. The amount of pressure the Knicks have been putting on Tatum has forced the Celtics to find different ways to utilize him on offense. But even outside of those different offensive avenues, Tatum's mindset was completely out of whack in game 2. He was passing up shots he usually loves to take, and even though it worked out sometimes, that's a dangerous mental game to be playing. So while it's good that the Celtics are finding other ways to keep Tatum involved, he absolutely needs to stay aggressive in hunting the shots that he's been comfortable with all season. One rough shooting night shouldn't define his shot profile for the next game. In down 0-2, it's more important now than ever for Tatum and the Celtics to figure things out.